Hey Flosstube, it's Katie, the Stash Queen, coming to you on this Monday, September 19th. I hope everyone has had a wonderful stitchy week. I had a good week, met most of my goals, not quite all of them, but that's okay. Had a really busy week just with home and family life last week. Have another really busy week this week. I've got a couple of days I'm volunteering at the school, and religious education starts this week, and it's just kind of a wild, crazy time in the Stash Queen household. But I have a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get started. I will start, as always, with my Q&A. Izzy RH said, "Hi, Katie. I'm planning for my modified year of starts next year and would love some advice. I'm doing the Prairie Schooler alphabet. Yay! Are you happy you chose Toasted Almond? Yes, I think it's a great color. It's working really nicely. It's a nice, neutral, primitive color. I'm really happy with it. And then when you say special request, did you mean you got a special size cut? I'm planning to do them all in one piece with the addition of the 4 season patterns. Yes, it was a special cut. It is bigger than a fat half. I have it in my pile here to show later. And it's written on there what the size is, and I can tell you when I get to it. But I got mine from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, and I contacted Stephanie and said, this is what I'm looking for. You know, this thread count, this fabric type, this color, this size, how much would it cost? And we worked out the details. I know you can do the same thing at Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm assuming most fabric dyers are usually pretty willing to work with you for something like that. Just reach out and ask them if you're looking for help. And when I get to the Prairie School alphabet, I'll try to remember to tell you the exact size that I got, but I'm only doing the alphabet. I'm not doing the 4 seasons with them as well. So. Stephanie Watson asked, what are my favorite videos to watch? Progress, tags, or haul? Honestly, progress and a haul interest me more than tags. Sorry. I like the occasional tag video, but I don't pay as much attention to those, quite honestly, and I don't do them very often. Yes, I have a tag that I created out there way when I first started doing Flosstube. And I know there are a ton of tags out there. I just don't. Those aren't my favorites. I love seeing progress. I love haul. Hello, Stash Queen. But I've not been able to watch as much Flosstube as I'd like to lately. I'm trying to get caught up on some people, and it's just not as happening as I'd like it. The Retro Girl 369 asked, do you ever see yourself saying, enough starts, I've got to start finishing? Nope. If it was, sorry, I got a sticky spot down here. I think if I was ever going to say that, I would have said it already after this year. I'm approaching my 300th start shortly. I have tons of projects I'm doing. I have planned another year of starts. Every so often I get the urge to finish something, and that's usually when something becomes either a focus for a finish, or I'm so close I can taste it, so I just pick it up and I work on it. I think my finishing bug is also sated by the fact that, you know, some of these monthly sales that I'm doing, they feel like mini finishes. So when you get that month done and you can put it aside and not have to worry about it for another month. So I think that helps, that when I get those little mini finishes in the course of a month to satisfy my urge for finishing. But no, I honestly don't see my husband may like me too. I may be pushing the, are you serious, Katie, line with him. As far as just sheer number of projects are concerned, but he does his running and his biking. I do my stitching. Pamela Spearing asked, do you use silks for your Tuscany chatelaine? Is there a big difference between the silks? There's a huge price range with some threads being MPI, others Gloriana, and still others DMC. I've never used the silks before, and I'm wavering on the price point, but those pieces are stunning. Okay. There's going to be 2 parts of my answer to this question. For my chatelaines, I have 3 of them. I have the Tuscany Town Mandala, the Medieval Town Mandala, and the Baltic Sea Mandala. All 3 of them I used the silks, and I would do it again. NPI silks, and I know Jess Marie was just talking about this not too long ago. Most NPI silks are solid. They don't have a lot of tonal changes. They're not really variegated. You could get away with using DMC substitutions for your MPI silks. Gloriana, water lilies, some of those other silks are so variegated that finding the right effect would be difficult in a DMC substitution. I love working with silks. I love the feel of them. They're wonderful to work with. And even though you could easily substitute, I think, NPI for DMC, there is a, I guess the best way to describe it is a depth of the color with the silks that with my chatelaines, I was willing to spend the money to do it because it's a chatelaine and those pieces are huge and intricate and detailed and stunning, and I wanted to have every little bit of stunningness to them that I could. That being said, there are other pieces that are calling for MPI silks of mine that are either this year or next year, and I'm doing substitutions for DMC. Gloriana, I usually do the Glorianas. Same with the water lilies. NPIs you can sub out pretty easily, but for chatelaines, for me, I want to do them in all of the bling and all of the silk and all of the glory. But I have seen them also done in DMC. There was one at an LNS I saw once that was a conversion to DMC, and it was just as stunning. So you need to do what's best for you. If you are happy with it, then that's all that matters. And I hear children.
Can you pause the video for 1 second?
What's happened?
I fell on the wall.
Oh, come here. Come here.
I don't want
You can walk over. Come on. Come here. You're okay.
I actually fell.
You actually fell?
On the wall.
How did you fall on the wall? Did it jump out and bite you and trip you? Can you say hi to my fans and your fans? Oh. You just want to sit with me for a minute while I talk and answer some questions? Oh, you can't whimper though while I'm talking.
Why?
Do you want to kiss it? Let me see.
Can we just break the wall?
No, we can't break the wall because then the house will be broken and that would not be helpful. Let me kiss it. Let me see it.
No, it actually hurts.
Well, let me see.
Look.
It doesn't look like it's broken.
No.
Just a little bruise. Oh, I see. You want me to kiss it?
No.
Okay. You're okay.
No, it actually really hurts.
I know, but you're going to be okay. I come down.
It even has more of it.
It's just a little scratch.
No, right here too.
Oh, I see. Isn't this so sad? Flosstube, can you say, get better soon, David? You going to be okay? Can you say hi?
No.
No.
It's 7 minutes.
7 minutes so far. I've got a lot more minutes to go.
How much?
A lot. Hey, look. You want to see what I'm going to show? What is that?
Yeah, I don't need
You,
With me.
you want to show this real quick?
This
part.
looks great.
So we've got some stash acquisitions that usually come at the end of the video. This is part of my Needleminder haul from Nifty Needle
We have a
Nannies.
creepy Eevee.
A creepy Eevee. Yes,
Look
Dave.
at it
Okay,
dies.
stop moving it. There's Eevee and Team Valor.
That's our team.
That's our team. You want to go show that to Teresa? Or you want to? That is kind of a creepy-eyed Eevee, isn't it?
That's decent eyes.
Yeah, a little bit creepy. Bring it back though when you're done.
Okay.
Sorry. I was too busy today to get this done before the kids were home from school. So to answer the question, I do chatelaines with the full bling and silks and everything. But if price is your holding point, you can certainly make substitutions. Just be conscious about it and be aware that if you do make substitutions, it may not have the same effect. But if that's okay, that's fine. They're still stunning. Part of the beauty is in the pattern. So. Jalen Hansen asked, what is memory thread and what situation would you use it? It's a kind of like a wire almost covered thread, more of a bendy thread that you can use. It's not really a thread even. It's kind of like a ribbon that you can use to shape things, and I've got it called for in my Brooks Books Spirit of Oz Santa. There's several different things on there that you can use the memory. I've never used it before. I can't tell you how to use it. I know there are instructions. I'm just collecting what's on the list that I need to have at this point. Elizabeth Brum asked, she recently purchased Letters by Nora A and D, and I was wondering if I knew of a DMC conversion chart of the Classic Colorworks. I purchased the bees, but can't afford the specialty flosses. Okay. Classic Colorworks is also known as Crescent Colors, both of the same interchangeable terms. You can find some lists online. If you type in Google DMC to Classic Colorworks or DMC to Crescent Colors, that would be what I would do. I don't have one off the top of my head that I use, but I found some before going that way. So that would be the suggestion. The other suggestion I would have, there are several Mirabilia Nora Corbett Facebook groups. I'm sure in one of those groups, if you said that you were looking to substitute colors out, that someone might be able to assist you with that as well. Stitch and Petunia was asking if I ever put up more than one Christmas tree. No, we have a 10 or 11 foot one currently. We are going to be upgrading this year to a taller tree. It's really tall because I've been collecting Christmas ornaments since I was a baby. I have a blown glass Santa ornament collection. Are we surprised with the Santas? No. We collect ornaments every year as a family. My husband, we've started sports related ornaments for him. My daughter collects snowflakes from me and her father and other fancy ornaments from my parents. My son collects trains from me and my husband, and my parents buy him flying vehicle ornaments, and my mother-in-law has an ornament collection for both of them, and I collected ornaments when I went to Europe, but I've got a lot of ornaments. I have a whole little section that's my Doctor Who ornaments. I mean, it's crazy. I don't do Christmas trees that are one theme. It is a whole hodgepodge, and I love it that way. I may, once I start finishing up all of these Santas I'm going to be doing over the next 2 years, meaning working on this year, working on next year type thing, and any of the other ornaments that I'm working on, I may need another tree. But I only have one right now. Christy Donnie asked, said that she is trying to collect all the Mill Hill Santas. Do you know if there's a master list somewhere so I can see what I have to find? Yes. In the Sandra Cozzolino Facebook page, she has a list of all of her Santas, both the Mill Hill and the pre-Mill Hill. That's what I have been using in my treasure hunting of sorts. I will put a link to it below. Are we back? Oh, you coming to say hi now? Okay.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. How's school going?
Good.
Anything important you want to say to everybody?
Have fun at school.
Have fun at school. Most of these people aren't at school. Most of these people are stitchers. Have fun stitching. Are you done with our homework?
Yeah.
Okay. Mwah. Go. Close the door when you leave, please. Stop. Okay. Close the door, please. Thank you. Oh, my children. Let's see. Then Izzy RH said your room must be an exploding TARDIS. A little bit. Now, my question is, where's the photo of Katie as the white rabbit? I will have to find it from my mother. I'm sure there's one at her house somewhere. If I find it, I will get it and bring it. Let's see here. MN Chaos asked if the pre-Mill Hill Santas call for beads. If not, will you add them to match the other Mill Hill Santas? They don't call for beads, but a lot of them do have sequins, like star sequins and a few other little blingy sequency type. I have not decided yet if I will make substitutions out for beads. I know a few other people who have started kind of doing what I'm doing have made substitutions out for beads. But in looking at some of them, I don't know if it's necessarily vital. They all kind of fit together because of the way the Santa's faces are with their beards. So I haven't decided yet. Stay tuned. I'll let you know. Let's see here. Rachel Gordon asked, are you a stay-at-home mom? Yes, I am. And both of my kids are at school. So, let's see here. E.F. Bauer, on your TARDIS, I noticed that you are not parking. How do you approach the stitching? One color from the top across each line and then going down to the next line until you finish that color. I'm starting my first full coverage piece. I would appreciate any advice you have to offer. Okay. My exploding TARDIS, I have several full coverage pieces. Some of them I do by columns. I don't park. I never park more than one thread at a time because parking it makes me twitch. The exploding TARDIS, I am doing cross country by page, which means I'm looking for one color, filling it in on the page, then I'm looking for the next color and filling it in on the page and that sort of thing. And doing it one page at a time. A few other ones are by rows instead of by columns. It just kind of depends on the flow of the piece. There are some people who are hardcore parkers, and that's great. I've tried it once, and maybe if I worked on a frame and a stand instead of a hoop that I hold, I might like it more, but parking just kind of drives me nuts. So I just don't park. It means that yes, you can do full coverage pieces. Parking is not required. Let's see here. Millie Allian says, do you remember which of your needle minders was the first, the one that sent you on this epic journey? No. I'm sure if you go back and watch my videos from the beginning, there's a point that I had no needle minders. None. Zero. Didn't understand them. Didn't know why I needed to use them. Got one or two. I think the first one that I have a vivid memory of, I'm going to see if it's up here, is this one. The Alice, the Blingy Alice. This is the first one I have a very vivid memory of using. Because I brought it with me when we went to Tulsa last year for my husband's race. And I was like, this is so useful. How did I ever survive without these before? I remember thinking that. I don't know if that was the first one that I purchased, but I think it would probably be the one I would say that started me on realizing the benefit of needle minders. Which goes into Andrea Strom's question that it may be blasphemy not to know this, but what is with everyone in the needle minders? I feel like I've been under the proverbial cross-stitch rock for never having even heard of minders. Like I said, a year ago, I never used them. I didn't find the importance of them, but I like them because I like being able to put my needle down on the minder rather than trying to stick it in the side of a pillow or the arm of my couch or something like that and losing it. I have lost a lot fewer needles this way. I also like having just a little extra decoration while I'm working, because when you're in early stages of a piece, it's a blob of color, usually. You don't really know what you're stitching. So it's kind of nice to have something that's actually a formed object on there. And it's just fun to collect, and I liked collecting things. So there you go. So those are all my questions and my child interruptions, hopefully, for the week. Thank you, as always, for your questions. And if you have any others, feel free to ask them, and I'll be happy to answer them next week. Okay, week in review. Monthly stitch-alongs. This week, I only worked on my Lakeside Needlecraft stitch-along, which I am doing on 28 Joblin and Nimue from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie using flosses from Jottery Designs. And I'm not done, but I started working on my wizard, who I've named Lou, L-U-G-H. And I did finish some of the hanging threads that I did have on the border. Not a lot, it's hard to tell how much, but, and they were driving me nuts. But there he is. There's my pooping unicorn from Needle Nannies. So there's the start of him. I will hopefully have him finished this week. That's the goal. And start on whichever of the other two that I have left, because this month is going by quickly. Then I did not work on my focus for a finished piece. Some days through the house, didn't touch it, nor my chatelaine. So both of those are being held over for a week. The monthly Mania Sal for September is World of Pure Imagination. So week 3 ended this week. And I was working on my Exploding TARDIS by Sprite Stitch, which is an electronic pattern. So I'll put a link to it below. But I'm stitching this on 18 count white Aida in full crosses 2/1, and I have a page finish, and I started page 2. And this is the first color done on page 2. So that's the beginning of the TARDIS right there. You can start seeing other TARDIS outlines. Yay! I'm so happy I got a page finish. And then I have my little Exploding TARDIS needle minder from Kimmy Kell Crafts. So I'm very happy with that. I met my goal of what I wanted to do with that in my So Much to Love Exploding TARDIS bag. So that's done. That was my goal for that one, so I was happy. Week 3 is another electronic pattern. I am working on Princess Leia from Fangirl Stitches, and I'll put a link to it below. And this is being done on 28 Joblin in Cosmos from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I've worked on it this week, but it's going to be hard to tell what I did. So here's where we are. What I have done since you saw this last is I finished the back stitching on all 4 of these Leias. So these are the Leias from the second one, Empire Strikes Back. So then we're going to have Empire I'm losing track of all the titles. The second one in the original trilogy. So you've got the first one that'll go over here, and then the third one, I believe, goes over here. So I'm deciding which way I'm going to go, but I'm going to start on more of those Leias this week because I'm going to stitch on this through Wednesday, because Thursday will start the next week in that, and I'll show you what I'll work on in a little bit. So my year of starts, I got all of this finished this week, or started this week, I should say. Finish? What's that? First, I worked on Sage, which is from Just Cross Stitch, June 2015. It's the Teacup Herbs, Basil, and Sage. So I had already started Basil, so this is Sage. And I am doing this on 28 count white Jobelan. Pretty simple, basic. And here's where I got to, some of the pretty leaves. My little blingy turtle needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one that I started was Three Wise Men. Let's see if I can get that working right. From World of Cross Stitching, issue number 222. And I am stitching this on 32 Jobelan in Twilight from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where we got to. Worked on the purple and the cloak of the middle king. And on my blingy ornament needle minder from Minding My Minders. It's a lot smaller than I thought the piece was going to be when I measured it out. That works for me. Then the next one that I worked on, only got worked on one day this week, even though I told you I might get worked on two. It is from the 2015 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue. It is Tangled by Carolyn Manning Designs. Because where it falls in the alphabet, if I had done all of my whips for the week, this past week, I would have worked on it 2 days, but I didn't get to this for the whips. So it'll be coming back. But here is where I got to. At this point, I started just working on the green in his scarf. And this is being done on 32 Opal, Lugana, and Peppermint Sparkle from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And my minders from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one is an electronic pattern. It's Rapunzel by Donna Stitch. And I am stitching this on 32 Jobelan in Isolde from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I got to. Blobs of purple. But it's a pretty purple. And then I have my little Rapunzel needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one came from Just Cross Stitch's 2008 ornament issue. And it's Poinsettia by Ink Circles, which is this one right down here. And I am stitching this on 32 Cashel in Lavender Mist from Zweigert. And here's where I got to at this point. I'm really liking that. The colors are surprising when I pulled them out. Didn't realize it was a brown and a purple, but I like him. And my little Linus needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one from the 2013 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue is Peace on Earth from Pickle Barrel Designs, which is this one right here. And I am stitching it on 32 Jobelan in Georgia Peach from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's where I got to, the dark outline of the buildings. And my little button-covered needle minder from Dragonfly Lotus that I got in a stitchy box. See all these ornaments. Well, I'm going to need a bigger tree. That's okay. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. Santas and nativities and ornaments and all that stuff. And then the last new start for this week is an electronic pattern. It was Aladdin by Donna Stitch, and I'll put a link to it below. And this is where I got to on this one. Worked on some of the dark blue background color. and my Jasmine Needleminder from Nifty Needle Manny's. So yeah, just trucking along on those starts. I'm excited. For my whips for this week, I was able to get to 5 of my whips this week. So we'll have 2 held over, but I'll show you the 5 that I worked on. The first one is an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It is the Summer Sampler by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I am doing this on 32 Belfast in Anthea from Under the Sea fabrics using flosses from Jottery Designs. Here's where I got to. I finished almost the second border square because I'm using this border color for all of the borders. And then I have my one of my Frosted Pumpkin needle minders. And if you're curious what that border color is, it is Island J from Jottery Designs. And like the other ones, I'm working on doing all of the border blocks first, and then I'll go in and fill in the blocks. Then the next one was Sunday Morning Sunrise, and this is from Cross Stitch and Needlework, May 2014. And I am doing this on 32 Joglin and Tulip Sunrise from Under the Sea fabrics. And here is where I got to. I worked a little bit more on the side of the entry to the church. And my minder is a little Celtic cross needle minder from Nifty Needle Manny's. Then the next one that I worked on was my Sweet Pea Fairy by Joan Elliott. She's just so pretty. And I am doing her on 28 Joglin and Fairy Dance from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Let's get her out. Here's where she is right now. I worked on more of the purple down around her waist, because I wasn't feeling up to doing more 1/1 skin. And that little minder is from Brenda's Minders and More. She's coming along nicely. And then the next one is Swirly Trees Noel, this one right here, by Waxing Moon Designs. And I am doing this on 32 Lugana in Perfect Pine from Silk Weavers using flosses from Moe's Sale. And here is where I am at this point. I am using the floss lettuce for the grain in the tree, and I'm really loving how it's turning out. And then my Define Naughty Needle Minder from Nifty Needle Manny's. And this last one I could have worked on and just kept working on it. It's one of those pieces. It's one of those pieces that reminds me how much I actually love black work, and can work on it for hours and hours and hours if I want to. I did not work on this for hours and hours and hours, but I could have. This is Tamara from Cross Stitch and Needlework Spring 2015, and we're out of the S's and into the T's. Little things.